How long can you truly know the person sleeping 2 inches away from you before you realize they're a complete stranger? I never thought I would be the man sitting in the dark at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling and waiting for the monster beside me to speak again. The night everything broke was a Tuesday in our home in Dallas, the air thick with the scent of her expensive lavender pillow spray. She turned over the silk sheets, rustling like a warning, and whispered a name that wasn't a name that belonged to my best friend Mark. It wasn't just a mumble. It was a confession wrapped in a sigh of longing that shattered 10 years of marriage in 3 syllables. I lay there in the suffocating silence, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird, realizing that the woman I loved had been dead for a long time, replaced by a ghost who wore her face. The mystery wasn't if she was cheating, but how long she shifted between our beds. And as the digital clock on the nightstand flickered to 3:01 a.m., I knew I wasn't just going to leave high, I was going to dismantle her entire world. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The following weeks were a masterclass in agony. We lived on Westheimer Road, a beautiful suburban lie where the grass was always manicured. She became cold, her eyes glazing over whenever I entered the room, her thumb constantly dancing over her phone screen. I watched her at the kitchen island, sipping her overpriced coffee, looking at me with a mixture of pity and contempt. She thought she was untouchable, that her digital trails were scrubbed clean. Little did she know, I had already installed a keylogger on the home computer. I placed a GPS tracker under her sleek white SUV. I followed her to a dim parking garage off Main Street, watching from a rented sedan as she climbed into a silver Mercedes. The man behind the wheel laughed, reaching over to pull her into a kiss. I sat there, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white, feeling the humiliation wash over me like ice water. But I didn't scream. I didn't confront them. I pulled out my camera and began the slow, methodical process of gathering the truth. I spent nights at a diner in Chicago during a business trip, actually meeting with a private investigator. He handed me folders thick with hotel receipts from the Palmer House and photos of them in Miami during her girls' weekend. The evidence was a mountain of betrayal. I felt myself breaking down, the weight of the lies crushing my chest, but then the sadness turned into something harder, something strategic. I wasn't just the loyal husband anymore. I was the architect of her ruin. I set the legal traps first. I moved our shared assets into trusts she couldn't touch, documenting every penny spent on her tryst. Then came the social exposure. I waited for her vanity project, a high society charity gala at the Dallas Museum of Art. I had the AV technician mistakenly play a different file during her keynote presentation. Instead of philanthropic work, the giant screens filled with her own text messages, her graphic photos, and the hotel bills addressed to her lover. The silence in that ballroom was the loudest sound I've ever heard. I watched the arrogance drain from her face. She looked out at the sea of her peers, her social standing evaporating in real time. She tried to cry, tried to reach for me, but I was already walking toward the exit. The divorce was swift. She left with nothing but the clothes on her back. The affair partner fled the moment his own wife saw the files I sent her. Now, I sit in a quiet apartment overlooking the city, the air no longer smelling of lavender. The house on Westheimer is sold, the memories bleached out by the truth. It's quiet here, it's cold. But for the first time in years, I can finally sleep without worrying about what name I might hear in the dark. She thought her secrets were whispers in the night, but she forgot that silence always listens the loudest. The end.